A good and healthy meal is something a lot of us take for granted, but those affected by homelessness and domestic violence, it's a different story. The company Too Good is trying to change that one dish at a time. Joining me now is the founder of Too Good, Rob Caslick, and Lisa McAdams, a proud supporter of the business. Welcome to both of you. It's great to have you here. Rob, let's turn to you first. Too Good has some pretty humble origins. Can you explain how the company started and what you're up to now?
Yeah, sure, Amber. So Too Good started as a soup kitchen in King's Cross. We never set out to work in domestic violence. It really was providing a really healthy meal to people who need it the most. And we realised after a while that providing a really good, wholesome meal, we're providing more than food itself. We're providing dignity and self-respect and love. And so the concept for Too Good really came about as how do we scale the soup kitchen offering? How do we provide more food to more people without asking for money? And so the buy one, give one model is not a new concept, but it really worked well with what we were doing. So we decided to sell a meal to people in the city, and for each meal that we sell, we donate a second meal to the soup kitchen. But at the first week, we only sold 6 soups. And so I decided to reach out to Women's Shelter and see if they liked the soups. And then we decided to continue to work with women's shelters.
All right, Lisa, you yourself were affected by domestic violence. Would you mind sharing part of your story?
My story is obviously I'm English, and I actually moved here with my ex, and obviously once I was isolated it just got worse and worse and worse, and then I had children and I ended up going into a shelter, and I lost everything, you know, everything I'd worked for. The abuse was quite extreme, and it's where I met Rob, because the refuge really is the foundation to build your life. I went through all 7 forms of abuse as there was there. I was lucky that there wasn't the technology when I left that can take you apart now, but it was quite extreme and I was pretty broken, and like Rob said, someone caring had been missing for so long that you really don't even trust your own mind, your own friends. So it was a long way back.
Yeah, well, it's important that people do tell their story, and we thank you for that. Rob, in the lead up to Mother's Day, you've launched a new campaign. Look, it's not to do with food. What is it and how can people help?
Well, it was inspired by a letter Lisa wrote to us, in fact, and she talked about receiving a toiletry pack but for her it wasn't the fact that it was a toiletries, it was the fact it was tied in this neat and purple bow, and that someone had actually gone to the effort of neatening a bow, of tying that bow, signified that she was of value. And so we thought surely we can do that, and so we created this care pack, shampoo and conditioner, body wash and moisturiser, all luxurious products, but the fact that it all heads out in a beautiful packaging with a beautiful neat and bow to try to recreate those moments that Lisa talked about.
Lisa, Rob mentioned when you arrived at that refuge, it was just the thought that someone had actually been thinking about you, that bow that tied it up. I mean, what were you feeling? I
think when I went in the refuge, I knew how badly I'd been treated. I'd got to the point where I recognised it, and that is a journey itself. But I didn't realise that no one had cared, and I was obsessed with this bow. In the end, one of the crisis workers in the refuge said to me, "Look, have another one. You really need to get clean." And it was what you said about the food. Just going to a supermarket and buying their basics is beyond your budget.
Yeah.
But I was so, it was almost like my teddy bear. I wouldn't open it. They said, "We'll just give you another one." And, you know, it became a joke because they opened the bow as if to say, we don't want to get stuck there. But it was really, I didn't realise at the time, but it was the beginning of my healing. I was worth something. It ignited something in me, which obviously still shows, because when I told Rob the story, it ignited it in him. And to see these and know that other women are going to get these, you know, I tell my story now for a living. It really chokes me up because I do know the difference it can make.
Yeah. So, Rob, the idea behind it is that you have these toiletries that people can jump online, they can buy themselves, and for every one they buy, you give one to a women's shelter.
The Too Good concept is you purchase one, and out of the profits of that, we donate a second one to women like Lisa in a refuge.
OK, and how can people help?
Yeah, so head over to Too Good, toogood.com.au, and purchase a pack.
Sounds like it's very, very easy to do. It's something very worthwhile in the lead up to Mother's Day. Rob and Lisa, thank you particularly for sharing your story. It's certainly a fabulous cause.
Thank you.
Thanks, Em.